been an interesting day today. I got off work at 4 o'clock. I get home about 4:30. I sit down in my office chair. I'm getting comfortable for the weekend. And I get a phone call. And he says, would you be willing to put on a suit, drive 3 hours to a youth conference and preach for one that you're already 5 minutes late? And I was like, oh. But when you say yes to Jesus, things about to go. And Brother Landon, he introduced a lot about me. My name is Grafton. I'm out of Tays Valley Baptist Church. There in Hurricane, West Virginia. I got saved there at Winfield High School, Field Bible Club. Dr. John Smith came the Thursday before Easter, and he preached to me. He preached the gospel, and I accepted Christ as my Savior. Amen. And the Lord has helped me ever since. Amen. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I never really grew up in church. I didn't even know there was more than one version of the Bible. I didn't know the Old Testament from the New. I didn't know all of that kind of stuff. And I grew up in a broken home, and a lot of things happened that really made me just question why I was even here. Really made me just question. A lot of things happened from my parents that made me question, well, does anybody really care about me? Does anybody really love me? And to be honest with you, I just gave no thought. I gave no care about the Bible or to God or anything like that. But God can take any situation and turn it around. Amen. And brother, that was a good message you preached tonight. That's a sobering thought of eternity. Just thinking about how something can never, ever end. And I don't want to mess it up tonight. The Lord gave me a message on my heart on the way down here. I was speeding the whole way down. But we made it. And we'll be in 1 Samuel chapter number 17. 1 Samuel chapter number 17. First Samuel chapter number 17, we'll begin reading in verse number 31. But we're dealing with a very familiar story tonight. We all know the story about David and Goliath, don't we? How there was this young teenage boy named David, and he picked up those rocks in a slingshot, and there was a giant named Goliath, and he won the victory there that day. We've all heard about the story of David and Goliath. And I'm going to preach on that story, but we're going to take a different angle at it, take a little bit of a different look. So we're not going to be talking about the actual acts whenever David picked up those rocks and slew the giant, but we're going to preach about how he prepared to fight that giant. How he prepared. What he did before he even saw the giant. What he did before he even picked up those rocks and was ready to fight it. We're going to talk about, because preparing to face your giants in your life is more important than actually facing them. That's right. We are all going to face giants in our lives. I'm 19 years old. I'm trying to serve the Lord, and I'm sure a lot of you are too. And the fact of the matter is, we're going to encounter a lot of trials. We're going to encounter a lot of difficulties. We're going to have a lot of people in our way, a lot of situations that try and knock us down and seem like they are impossible to defeat. So we got to be ready. Amen. Let's begin reading in verse number 31. We'll read to verse number 40. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul. And he sent for him. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. I went out after him and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defied the armies of the living God. And David said moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, and out of the paw of the bear he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said unto David, Go, and the Lord be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head, and also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said to Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. And he took the staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. I want to preach on tonight how to be a giant for your giant. How to be a giant for your giant. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, I need you right now. Amen. Oh God, get me out of the way, Lord. I pray, Father, that you would just meet with us in a special way, Lord. It's already been a wonderful place to be this evening. And Lord, I pray that you would end this evening, Lord, on a high note. Oh God, I pray, Lord, that you would just speak to each and every heart that's in here tonight. For the ones, Lord, the giant standing in their way is the giant of salvation, Lord. And they don't know you as Savior. And the devil's standing in their way, trying to distract them. And God, I pray that tonight, be the night they come down, walk this aisle, come down to this altar, and get saved. Oh God, I pray, Lord, that you would equip us and prepare us to face the giants that we face in our lives. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. David, he is in a situation in this story. David, he is in a circumstance that he did not necessarily want to be in. See, David, he had no business being there. David, he was just a teenage boy. He was not a man. He was not even a soldier. Yet he was here. He was here bringing food to his brothers who were soldiers. And David, he found himself in a very lonely situation. He found himself in a very, very lonely situation. And you're going to find in your life that if you're doing what's right, and if you're trying to serve the Lord, you're going to be in a lonely situation. Because here stood the army of Israel on one side, and the army of the Philistines on the other. The Israelites, they are God's chosen people. They still are in this day God's chosen people. And there stood the Philistines. They were the enemies of God. And they weren't getting along back then, and they're not getting along still in this day. And what's going on is Goliath, he comes forth from the Philistine army, and he challenges the children of Israel. He says, send one man out to fight me. And if he can slay me, then we will be your slaves. But if I slay him, you will be our slave. So there's a lot riding on what's about to happen. There's a lot in the hanging in the balance of what's going to happen. And the children of Israel and the armies and the generals of Israel, I can only imagine how stressed they are. They're trying to make the right decision. What man do we send out to fight this Goliath? If we make the wrong decision here, we're going to reap the consequences of that decision. And nobody in their right mind would have chosen this man named David to go out and fight. Amen. He found himself in a lonely situation. He was lonely because all the other soldiers, they wouldn't go and fight him. Nobody else was willing to accept the challenge. They were all too scared because Goliath, the story says that he was a man of war from his youth. What that means is, since the day that he's been born, he's been trained how to kill. And he is now a giant. He's much taller. He's much stronger. He's much bigger. And he's much more experienced than any other soldier that Israel can offer. And they're all too scared to go and fight this giant, except for this one young boy named David. But he is in a lonely situation. And you're going to find that the closer you get to Jesus, the lonelier you're going to be. There are times in the ministry of Christ where hundreds and where thousands followed him. Think about the time where he fed the 5,000. There were at least 5,000 men there, and Jesus had to feed them with the fish and the loaves. There were times where thousands followed Jesus, but whenever Jesus was hanging on the cross, being crucified by the world, all the only ones that stood by him were a few women and a man named John. And you're going to realize that the closer closer you get to the cross, and the closer you get to Calvary, and the closer you live to where God is, the lonelier you are going to be by the world's standards. But it is only a loneliness that can be measured by this world. Because if you forsake this world, God will pick you up. David was in a lonely situation. And he was also in a lost situation. He didn't even deserve to be there. He didn't even belong to be there. He wasn't even a soldier. He was just a shepherd's boy. He was not supposed to be there at the battle. And I can only imagine all the other soldiers just making fun of him, saying, "Go on back home, boy. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're getting yourself into." Railing on him, making fun of him. And even the king himself said, "Thou art not able to go and fight against this Philistine." He was in a lost situation. He did not understand where he was or why he was even there. But we got to realize whenever we feel lost, whenever we feel discouraged, whenever we feel down, God has a reason for us to be exactly where we are. I'm sure it might have been a burden for David to go out that day. He was just trying to watch over his flock. He was just trying to keep his sheep. But his dad said that you need to take this food and send it to your brothers there on the battlefield. And yes, that was a journey for David. Yes, that was work for David. But look what God orchestrated when he got there. David was just simply doing what his father had asked him to do. And if we'll just be obedient to God, if we'll just say yes to Jesus, if we'll just simply allow the hand of God to be yield ourselves to the hand of God, there's no telling what He can do with our lives. Amen. And whenever we feel lost, He can find us. Whenever we feel lonely, He can encourage us. Whenever we feel that we're the only ones fighting, we realize we have a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Amen. And we have a Savior who's going to stick with us till the end, who's never going to leave us nor forsake us.
Amen. Yep.
But we see a few things that David did. We see a few things that he used. Some attitudes about David. He was able to prepare to fight this giant. In fact, he became a giant to Goliath. Goliath didn't even get to take a swing that day. He had all that muscle. He had all that power. He had all that fame, and he brought all that fear. He got to use absolutely nothing. That's right. Amen. The Bible says the devil, your adversary, the devil, walketh about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He's wanting to devour your life. He's wanting to devour your soul. Yes, sir. He's wanting to devour everything about you, and facing him, you stand no chance. Your flesh stands no chance. I stand no chance against the devil. He's like Goliath standing up against me, but the Bible says he is just as a roaring lion. Man, oh, he's all tight, but he doesn't even have teeth. Amen. All he can do is roar. All he can do is talk. All he can do is produce fear. But if you'll just simply be like David and do what David does in this story, whenever that devil, whenever those enemies, whenever those giants come, they won't stand a chance. Amen. Amen. See, the first thing that David had, David had a passionate example. He had a passionate example. Verse number 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he be a man of war from his youth. Now I'm sure there were much more qualified people to go and face this giant. I'm sure there were much stronger soldiers than David to go and fight Goliath. He was just a teenage, scraggly, little teenage boy. I'm sure there were much taller, much more muscular, much more trained men that were more able to go and fight Goliath. None of them would. Here comes this boy that doesn't even belong being there. He has no business even being there at the battle.
Come on.
And he just simply says, I will go and fight this Philistine. Now, I can only imagine how that made all those other soldiers feel. I can only imagine how that made all those stronger and taller and more experienced soldiers feel. They must have felt pretty bad about themselves, that they're so much older, so much wiser, so much more strong and capable of fighting the battle, yet they wouldn't because they're too scared. And here comes this young whippersnapper who's willing to charge this giant named Goliath with nothing but a few rocks and a slingshot. I'm sure that made them want to do more. You see, you don't have to be old to serve the Lord.
Amen. Amen.
You don't have to be experienced to serve the Lord.
Amen.
You don't have to be strong to serve the Lord.
Come on.
You don't have to be smart to serve the Lord.
That's right.
You don't have to be big and strong. It doesn't matter what your last name is. All you have to do is simply be willing. David, he didn't have very much. David didn't have much strength. He didn't have much experience. He didn't have much at all. But he simply gave everything that he had. He simply gave a passionate example. And I'm sure that inspired the other soldiers to want to go out and fight. That made them feel pretty convicted about how they were. And you don't have to be somebody important in the church to start revival. You don't have to be somebody that gets a lot of money in order to make a difference. You just simply have to be willing to give everything you've got.
Amen.
The boy, when Jesus fed the 5,000, all he had was a few fish, a few pieces of bread. Not very much. Not very much at all. But he gave everything he had.
Amen.
He gave it unconditionally. He didn't say, you can take this if you let everybody know it was me that gave it to you.
That's right.
You can take this as long as you pay for it. No. He just simply gave Jesus everything that he had. Able to simply come before the Lord, to simply come before the Savior and say, here is my life. It's not much. I don't know much. I can't do much. But you can do so much more with me than I can ever do with my own life, with my own body, with my own soul. I give it all to you. I'm not experienced to serve the Lord. Whenever I got saved, I didn't know anything about the Bible. I still don't know anything about the Bible. But whenever I first got saved, if you would have taken like 10 random books out of the Bible and told me to sort them Old Testament from New, I doubt I would have been able to get all of them right. But the Lord will just take somebody that is simply willing.
Amen.
He just wants somebody that wants Him.
Good preacher.
Amen.
I still didn't even know hardly anything about the Bible. It had been about 3 months since I got saved. We're down at a youth camp in Pensacola. And I surrendered a call to preach. I didn't know anything about preaching. I didn't know what expository and topical sermons are. I didn't know anything about that at all. All I knew was that the Lord was putting something on my heart. All I knew is that the Lord was calling me to do something. I didn't understand it all. I still don't understand it all. But we don't have to understand the Lord in order to serve the Lord. We just simply have to say, I will go and fight this Philistine. I will go and fight this enemy. I will go into the world and preach the gospel unto every living creature. I will go relentlessly, no matter what the odds are. I will go no matter what all the brethren say. brother, you're right. And we get so excited over the ball games. I am a West Virginia Mountaineer all the way through my blood. I get excited when I watch them play. Dear goodness, I don't even watch them anymore. I get too excited or too upset at what's going on. I mean, all last season, my Indians were finally good for a season. I was always watching them on my phone everywhere I went so I could see every single pitch and every single out, and then it just break my heart in the end. But it's so easy for me to get excited about that. It's so easy for us to get excited about the things of the world, and about the things that we enjoy, about the things that we love. But sometimes it just seems difficult to have some passion about serving the Lord. If we'll just simply realize that those things are temporal, those things are like a vapor. Your life is but a vapor, and it's here for a short time and vanishes away. Let's stop living for now, and let's start living for eternity. David willingly was ready to serve. Amen. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I played football in middle school and high school. I'm sure I wasn't as good as you. I was a lot bigger than what I am now. I was kind of sluggish. But I was still a big boy. And I played through middle school and into my freshman and sophomore year in high school. But I got saved when I was a freshman, and I played through my sophomore year, and the Lord started dealing with me about it. I'm not saying playing sports is a sin. I'm not saying that it's an idol in your life, but it might be. Only you know that. And the Lord was laying on my heart that it was something in the way in my life. I told the coach I was going to quit. And I quit after my sophomore season, and my junior year they went 2-8. It was a bad year. And Coach, he came back to me at my junior year one day at school. We taught there. I was headed towards my last class of the day. And he started talking to me. He's like, you know, Grant, we really want you this year to play. We could really use you on the line. We could really use you. You're so big and strong. We just really want you to play. You'll be a leader. You'll be a senior. Everyone will look up to you. We just got a brand new weightlifting facility. You'll love it. We really want you to play. To be honest with you, I started in my heart considering it. I was walking to my last class of the day, and I was thinking, well, I can balance all the responsibilities I got at the church with football. I can still go to weights 3 times a week and go to every practice every day in the summer and do all that, and still do the bus route, still be faithful to soul winning, and still be faithful to every church service and all the youth trips. I was trying to reason it out in my mind. I got to my last class, and a girl walks up to me. She says, you'll never guess what happened yesterday. She said at work yesterday evening, the UPS man came in to the store, and he started telling us about this young preacher from Winfield High School who came to his church last Sunday and was preaching, and how inspired he was just to see somebody young being sold out to the Lord like that. And the Lord, He was showing me right then and there that it is so much more blessed to use your talents, to use your gifts, to use your life, because we can try to do with our lives what we want to do. And yes, we might be able to accomplish some things, but greater is He that is in us than He that is in the world. He is the greatest one that can control our lives. And you just got to get it in your mind, get it in your heart. You're going to face some giants, but if you'll just simply serve the Lord, willing to do anything, there's no telling what He can do with you. That's right. Good preacher.
Amen.
It's much better to serve the Lord than it is to serve the world.
Amen.
Amen. And you know, our public school systems are real bad. And you know it's bad when they let a guy like me MC the talent show. They asked me to do that one year, and it was a lot of fun. I don't consider myself a real funny guy, but I had this one joke picked out against one of the football players. I didn't even think it was all that funny, but I I grilled him right in front of the entire school. And you see 850 students just start cheering. There's people standing up, giving me a standing ovation all across the bleachers. There were teachers about to fall out of their seats from laughing so hard. And it took me 45 seconds before I could even say my next word. I didn't even think it was that funny, but they just loved it. So I got to experience what it's like to use my life, to use my energy to serve the world. But there's also been times when I've walked into a church, walked into a nursing home, walked into a Bible club, opened up this blessed book, and started preaching the Word of God, and seeing people get right with the Lord, seeing people get saved, seeing people get help. And I'll tell you what, just simply give everything you have to Jesus, because it's so much more worth it. I could have stayed home in Winfield, West Virginia tonight and enjoyed some Netflix and some ice cream, but instead I came all the way down here to let you know that you're going to face some time, and you have a God that's bigger than you all. David, he gave a passionate example, but also he had a priceless experience. He had a priceless experience. Verse number 34. And David said unto Saul, Thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and his uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defiled the armies of the living God. I like this right here. David said, Moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. Amen. So David, he's pleading his case to the King Saul. David wants to go and fight this Philistine when nobody else will. And the king says, you can't go fight this Philistine. But David says, hold up a minute, because there's these things that have happened in my past. There are things that I've already went through. There are these events that's already happened that's prepared me for this moment. And David starts to talk about how there was this bear that came along the way as he was watching over the sheep, and he slew the bear. And then there was a lion that came to take one of the sheep out of the flock, and he slew the lion. And he's saying, the Lord has brought me through those things in the past, and because of that, I know that he's going to bring me through when I face this Philistine.
Amen.
The Bible says, all things work together for good for them that love him. The book of Romans. The things that happen in our past can be painful. The experiences that we go through can really hurt sometimes. Things that people do to us, it makes us question why we would even go through something like that. And I told you a little bit earlier, but I went through a lot of things growing up as a child. My dad did a lot of things to me and our family that hurt us in a lot of different ways. It made me just feel unloved. It made me feel broken. It made me feel pretty useless. Why am I not loved like that? And if he can't love me, then who can? But I'm glad the Lord saved me. Because he saved my life. Not only did he save my soul from hell, but he saved my life from destruction like that. And I'm able to look back at all those experiences. I'm able to look back at everything that I've been through. I'm able to look back at what happened to me as a child, and I can now say I know exactly what not to do one day when I have my own. And don't take for granted your past. Don't take for granted all the experiences that you've been through. Yes, it may hurt. Yes, it may make you feel useless. Yes, it may make you feel like nobody loves you or cares for you. But let me tell you something. The things that happened in your past are not there to break you, but they're there to simply make you stronger. And the strength doesn't lie within yourself. The strength doesn't lie within your own mind. There's no psychologist that can help you reason it out. There you for your present battles.
Amen.
That's right.
He had a priceless experience. A priceless experience. He had an experience that nobody else even knew about. See, he was reasoning to the king, trying to let the king get him to go and fight. But he says, Saul, I've been through something. I've been doing some things that nobody else has been watching. The Lord has been putting me through some things that none of those other soldiers have noticed. The Lord has been dealing with me about some things that nobody else has seen. I fought that lion and nobody else saw it. I fought that bear and nobody else realized it. Nobody gave me a pat on the back for the lion and for the bear. What you got to realize is you got to go through some things and you got to serve the Lord in private before He'll let you serve Him in public. You got to fight your battles when nobody else is watching. You got to fight your battles when nobody else can see what's going on. You got to fight some enemies. You got to take down some bears and lions, but nobody else even knows about before He'll use you.
Amen.
That's right. Amen. David wouldn't have been able to defeat the Goliath if he had not already defeated the lion and the bear. He would not have been able to face that enemy with such confidence had it not been for the Lord had already brought him through. He would not have been able to get the victory that day except that he'd been through the victories in the past.
Amen.
That's right.
And he had a priceless experience that the Lord used to gain the victory for His present battles. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what your situation's like at home. I don't know what your life or your childhood's been like, but I do say this, it all happens for a reason. It all happens. The Lord, He works everything out for good to them that love Him. And yes, you might get broken. Yes, you might hurt. Yes, it might not be any fun, but it's there to make you stronger. That's good. I try to exercise sometimes. I'm not very good at it. How many of y'all have ever lifted weights before? Some of y'all guys, some of y'all girls lifted weights before. We used to lift a lot in football. I was never the best at it. But the thing about lifting weights is, if I go to the gym and try to bust out some curls and stuff, what happens is, number one, I don't look like I belong there. And number two, I'm in a lot of pain the next couple of days. And the reason why it hurts after you lift weights is because the way that it works is, let's say you're doing some curls and everything, and your arm, what's happening in your bicep is, as you're lifting that weight, the muscle is tearing down, and that muscle is becoming broken. That muscle is being ripped, and that muscle is being stretched, and that muscle, after it's been ripped and torn and gone through all of that, after you are done working out, the next couple of days, what happens is the blood comes and strengthens it, and as it starts to heal itself, that's how it grows, and that's how it gets bigger. And we go through some things in our lives that absolutely break us, that stretch us to the limit, that tear us apart, that rip us up. Oh, but I'm glad for the blood of Jesus Christ. It back in my heart and strengthens me and makes me stronger than I ever was.
Good job.
David,
That's good preaching.
Good preacher. Come on.
he had a passionate example and a priceless experience. But lastly, he had a personal examination. He had a personal examination. Look at verse number 38. And Saul armed David with his armor. And he put a helmet of brass upon his head. And he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor. And he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. And he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook and put them in the shepherd's bag which he had, even in the scrip, and his sling was in his hand. and he drew near unto the Philistine. So the king finally gives in. He's going to let David go and fight Goliath. But he says, son, before you go face that giant, you're going to need something to fight with. The king takes his armor, the armor of the king himself, and he puts it on David. He gives him his mail, he gives him his coat mail, he gives him his sword, he gives him his helmet, and he gives him his armor. So there David is. I'm sure he looks, he's just a young teenage boy, and he's wearing the armor of the big king. I'm sure it doesn't fit at all. I'm sure it's very uncomfortable. But I can only imagine if I were David in that moment, I would have been wearing that armor, gone back to all those other soldiers that were making fun of me for wanting to fight that Philistine, and been strutting my stuff and showing off. Y'all were laughing at me a minute ago. Now look at me now. I'm wearing the armor of the king. I've got a sword. I've got his helmet. Me and the king, and we're pretty tight back at the camp. Look at me now. That's not what David did. The Bible says he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. See, David, he may have been young, but he was wise enough to realize that was the king's armor and not his. That's what God had provided for the king, not what God had provided for David. And I know I'm young, I'm just getting started, but I've realized there's a lot of young preachers that try and be like other people. There's a lot of young Christians that try to be like other people, that try to copycat and mimic after other people. You can't wear their armor. You can't take their armor. God created you to be like you. You're created in the image of God. He knew you before you were even born. He knew all about you. He gave you your personality. Why are we trying to change ourselves? Why are we trying to fit in with the rest? God has no cookie cutter recipe for how he brews preachers and how he makes Christians. God's plan for you is individual.
Amen.
That's good, bro. Now just imagine if David would have gone and fought that giant and used the king's armor. He would have gone to fight Goliath, kept that armor, kept that sword, kept that helmet, and tried to fight him with those things. Goliath would have stomped him to the ground. But God didn't have armor, and God didn't have a sword or a helmet for David. And God had 3 little rocks and a sling for David. And I don't know what God has for you. I don't know what God's calling you to do when it's not what somebody else is doing.
That's good. Go ahead.
I don't know what He wants you to be, who He wants you to be, how He wants you to live your life, where He wants to lead you, but you need to get your eyes off of other people and look up on His face. I offer the picture of your faith, and I promise you, He has something for your life.
That's right.
We're not all here by accident. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. God's the one who created all this. He's the one who took the dust of the earth and breathed into the nostril of man the breath of life. The Bible says that Jesus was the Lamb slain before the foundations of the world. You know what that means? He knew that He put a Savior in place before there was ever a sinner. Before you were ever born in this world a sinner, God already had a Savior. He has something incredible for you. If you're not saved, if you were to die tonight and you're not 100% sure that you go to heaven, you are lost, you're unsaved, and you can come to know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. He has something wonderful waiting for you. If you are saved, you may be like me and get real confused sometimes. You may be like me and get real discouraged sometimes. You may be like me and get real down sometimes. You just feel lost, and you feel lonely, and you feel tired, and you just feel like giving up. Don't give up. It's God's got something stored there. He created you. He loved you. He shed every drop of blood for you.
Amen.
Shed every drop of blood for you, so that you could go to heaven. But He came to give you life life more abundantly.
Right.
He wants to do something with you here on this earth. He wants you to live a life for Him. He wants you to find God's will for your life. What you got to simply do is say yes to Jesus. You may not get a call at 4:30 saying, come preach at a youth conference in 2.5 hours on a 3-hour drive. But God's going to open doors up one door at a time for you.
Amen.
And you don't need to understand it all. I don't understand it all. But you just got to understand enough to hold His hand. Let Him guide your feet one step at a time. Because you're going to have some giants in your life. Your flesh is going to face some temptations that you cannot overcome.
That's right.
You're going to go through some storms in your life that you cannot survive. You're going to face some giants that are unbeatable. Nobody else wants to face them either. But you got to rely on your God. Give you your rocks. Give you your sling. And just simply have the faith of a grain of a mustard seed.
Amen.
And be a giant compared to what the giant is to you.